permission to post in that one. Oh, shit. All right, I think I posted everywhere except for the Twitter.
All right.
All right, I think that's good now. I think we are ready to start this. And welcome to the Out of Spite podcast, everyone. We
Hello, hello.
we're starting early today for some reason.
Just a little early.
We do that. All right,
Got-
let's see here. What do we want to start with first?
Let's see. Well, I mean, a good place to start is to just start with sorry, I was listening to the stream, making sure we were sounding okay.
I hope we are.
Yeah, we're good. We're good there. I think a good place to start for this stream is going to be with the holiday we all had.
Yeah, Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, man.
Yeah. So,
Or what did they call it? Google, I don't know if you noticed, actually didn't call it Thanksgiving.
I call it the holiday where we celebrate the genocide of the Native American people.
Yeah, that's what Google calls it, kind of. They call it Native American Appreciation Day. You know, because we celebrate murderer, essentially, and we're thankful for it.
Yeah, that's about what it is. So, how was your Thanksgiving? What all did you do this year?
So Thanksgiving, we actually celebrated Thanksgiving a day early. We celebrated on Wednesday.
Interesting.
Yeah, it just kind of worked better for everyone's schedule. You know, getting work situated and stuff like that. Oop. And yeah, so we had dinner at my family's house. It was at around 6 o'clock. I had to work that day though, so we didn't get there until around 6:30 or 7. Um, and ooh, a lot of food. I have a 3-year-old niece. Her name's Charlotte. She's crazy. So she ran up screaming my nickname that she has for me, which is Uncle Man. Um, yeah, screaming. I mean, at the top of her lungs because she's a little kid.
Oh, that's funny.
So that was awesome. Little bit of a backstory as to why she calls me Uncle Man. She went and saw Iron Man for the first time. I say it as if she went to like the movie theater or something, right? she was like 2 at the time, I think, but they went and saw Iron Man, and ever since that day, she's been calling me Uncle Man. So I wonder if she thinks I'm Tony Stark, but
Tony Stark, but without the money or the genius.
right. um, so that was really cool. Yeah, just massive amounts of food. My sister-in-law made some pretty good food. I can't remember what she called it, but she made it was like you know those little red disc candies that are hot.
Vaguely.
I think they're called Red Hots. I can't remember what they're called, but she made some type of sweet dish with that in it, and it was really good. And it's something that her family makes every year for Thanksgiving. Of course, me being New Mexican, we had tamales and chili. And it's a sin to not put chili on your mashed potatoes instead of gravy in our family, so that's something too.
That is strange.
It's really good, really good.
Oh man, we didn't have Thanksgiving this year. I'm thankful for that. My grandfather has decided that COVID is the Antichrist and will not have it exposed at his house. So,
Uh,
no
yeah,
Thanksgiving.
we were half expecting the CDC to, bust down our door.
Yeah, so we didn't do Thanksgiving, which I don't like spending time with people in general. So this kind of worked out. I will say that my grandmother did make me a honey ham, and I ate the fuck out of that. I actually just finished it up today.
I'm gonna have leftovers for at least a little while. I have some extra chili and some ham sitting around. And my mom actually made my girlfriend and I an entire pie too. So, well, a cheesecake. So we have that to look forward to as well.
Oh yeah, what kind of pie?
It's like a pumpkin cheesecake.
I
It's
thought it
pretty
would have
good.
been a cherry Nyquil pie.
Maybe. Oh jeez. Um, yeah, so that's kind of cool. We didn't get to one of the traditions that we usually do, which is we usually come up with like three things we're thankful for, and then one embarrassing story. So we didn't come up with that, but I can share my story here on the podcast if you'd like.
Sure.
So, as we all know, I work for a satellite TV company,
Well, if we
and
didn't, we
so
know now.
yeah, right. And so I go to people's homes, and people keep things in their homes, right? So I've seen
Well,
a lot of stuff.
yeah, that's generally how that works.
Yeah. So I go to this married couple's house, right? And I'm installing television, and so they show me the living room, and they show me the kids' room. It's a nice house. It's very well kept, not too big. And then I go into their bedroom to install the final TV.
And they offer you a three-way.
Almost.
Almost.
Jesus. No, their closet was open, right? And inside their closet was like some leather strap wear for an individual.
Oh, one of
And
them's the goddamn gimp.
yeah. And on the floor there were some toys and whips, and I was just sitting there like, all right, this is how I die.
I like this couple.
They looked I was like, hey, I kind of shied away from it at first, and the wife was like, oh my god. And so she like
Oh yeah,
quickly
I'm sure she was
shuts her
embarrassed.
yeah, she shuts the closet door, and the husband's like, we are so sorry. And I was like, well, what you guys do in your home to make each other happy is y'all's business. I'm just here for the TV.
I bet the wife is the dominant one. I think she's
Ugh,
dummy
probably.
mommy.
Oh yeah, he probably gets pegged for sure.
Oh, that is amazing. Oh, is that the end of that story?
Yeah, it was awkward. We didn't bring it up the rest of the time. The husband did tip me. He gave me $20 after,
Oh.
so that was kind of nice. Probably like a keep your mouth shut kind of thing.
Too late.
Well, I can't say who they are or where they live, but yeah, it was a good story.
Do you think they're swingers as well?
Well, obviously they're kinky, so they're probably open to the idea.
Yeah. Not just something to
Yeah,
do on a Saturday night.
maybe. Maybe the husband likes to watch from the closet. Who knows?
Oh. Like jerks off in the corner or something. Oh man, we don't have any traditions at my family.
No holiday traditions of any kind.
No, it's more we just show up, we eat and talk, and then that's it.
Well, sad day.
Which
You
is
guys
why
can...
I don't really like Thanksgiving because we can literally do this any fucking day. Like
That's true.
we
That's
don't
true.
have to wait for a fucking holiday where we celebrate the mass genocide of the Native American people to sit around and eat and talk.
So, so your family just sits around, talks about war stories.
Essentially, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, we
I'll
like
tell
to
you this
talk about
though.
weapons.
It was It was the first time in 4 or 5 years that we had the entire family together, which was kind of nice. So all of our siblings were in the same area at one time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so it was a little harder to do because most of my family lives in New Mexico, and of course I live in the woods over here.
Yeah, I live in a state that I've been in. I've been over there several times. Well, one time, but supposedly I have a house there.
You have a house over here?
Supposedly, I think.
I think. Oh no.
Something that has to do with my great aunt. I don't really know.
Oh.
Yeah, everyone in my family who doesn't live in this fucking state is rich as hell.
It's good to know.
Yeah, that's how it usually works.
So yeah, that was Thanksgiving for us over there. My family, pretty good event. Some alcohol was involved.
I took a shot and I watched Jerry Springer and Steve Wilkos.
There we go. There we go.
I like my trash TV. Alright, so I have something here. It's called Am I the Asshole?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, you
Now,
are.
oh, probably. I don't deny it. But we have at least 3 of these stories here. Let's see.
Yes, we do.
Or I thought I did.
Uh-oh.
Hang on, I gotta get the last one. There it is. Alright, so the first one we have here is, am I the asshole for telling someone to fuck off? Now, it's been generalized that this guy isn't, but here's the story. At my fiance's work, there is an attractive guy. My fiance and her friend were talking about him, and apparently the friend tried to convince my fiance to cheat. She refused and told me. Well, that's a point in her corner. I visited her at work recently, and this friend began telling me that we should have an open relationship, and I'm holding my fiance back. I mostly laughed it off at first and told her I wasn't comfortable with that kind of relationship. She kept pushing, so I told her, can you fuck off? I barely even know your name, lady. Your opinion does not matter to me. She got mad and called me an asshole. My fiance was mad I treated her friend that way because she was joking. Am I the asshole for getting mad?
You know, I would say no in that circumstance.
I would say no, considering that this female friend is pushing it several times at that. I mean, you should have told her to fuck off the first time.
Honestly.
Yeah, like,
But
why would you be friends with someone that's trying to get you to cheat?
yeah, it's you know, even okay, so even if it's the concept of that individual that was asking the concept of having like an open relationship, right? If the other person doesn't view an open relationship as that and they view it as cheating, then you should probably stop asking.
He's not an asshole.
Yeah, no, not at all, not at all.
Not a cuck either.
Let's see. We got another one to talk about there. Let's go ahead and hit that one. So it's a little bit of a longer one. Am I the asshole for making my mom cry when she called my child retarded?
Well, is the child retarded?
Probably. Jesus. um, let's see if I can read this without failure. So I have a daughter, 11, who was recently diagnosed with autism. We thought it would be wise to tell this to my aunt, the in-laws, and my parents, just so that they can. I don't even. What?
They can be expectant.
Expectant. Sorry. Whoosh. See, I'm already failing. Expectant of any complications. My daughter frequently goes to her aunt's to see her cousin on Thursday since we live only about 15 minutes away from where we did. Sometimes we leave my daughter with my in laws, or sometimes we leave them with my parents. Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Family's got to watch the kiddo. 11-year-old, I don't think. Well, it's an 11-year-old with autism, so it makes more sense that the kiddo has to be watched, right?
Yeah.
Um, so I have to start by saying that my mom is the type of person who hates being told that she's wrong. I hate people that are like that. You should be able to like accept that you're wrong, especially if you're clearly in the wrong. My dad would often lose arguments with her when I was younger because she'd cry or throw a toddler level tantrum, probably like my 3-year-old niece. And she's not a toddler, but she's a handful. And it's honestly just tiring for him. So as I become an adult, she became more dependent on me and would repeat the same waterworks treatment she did with my dad if I refused to do something for her, or tell her she's wrong in something. Especially to my mom, telling her she's wrong is equivalent to murdering someone in public.
I wouldn't know about that.
Now, murdering someone in public should be allowed in some cases. No. Anyway, main story. We informed my aunts and in-laws about my daughter's autism. They were pretty understanding of it. The real problem started with my mom. I like how the in-laws aren't the problem. Right? Because this is the husband saying this story, or the father, I should say.
Well, if
This
it
is
was
the father
told from
saying.
the mother's perspective, it would be a problem with the in-laws. I
It
mean,
would, yeah.
technically, it still is.
Technically, it still is. Yeah, yeah. When we got around to informing my parents, my dad was okay, but my mom got upset, asking me why I didn't find this out earlier. I mean, 11 years old. I think that's a valid-ish question, right?
I mean, kids are stupid to begin with, for the most part.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know I was. I mean, I'm still stupid. So,
Yeah.
22 years later. So, let's see. I honestly don't know how to respond to that, as I wasn't even sure if that was a rhetorical question. But then she continued saying that a child that is quote unquote crazy will be tough to raise, and I should probably give her up for adoption.
The
That's a
fuck?
bitchy thing to say.
That's what?
Okay, it's just a little bit of my input there, but I told her I wasn't going to do that, and she blew a fuse. She told me that I was being ridiculous, that I would end up being a bad parent, and that she did not quote unquote want a retarded grandchild. Yikes. I saw red. So would I if I was in his position. Uh, Evidently, it was hard for me to, or admittedly, right? Sorry. Admittedly, it was hard for me to not lose it when she told me that adoption and crazy comment, but I lost it. I told her that she was an effing, of course, this being Reddit, I don't, he had to have
This
typed,
one's censored, yeah.
yeah, he had to have typed that, right?
Yeah.
I know you guys can't see what is typed, but he did censor the word fucking. Anyway, I told her she was a fucking cruel piece of shit, and she always has been. And then she can't, and that she can't comment on my parenting style when her parenting was less than terrible. Um, she bursted into tears, asking me how I could be so horrible to her after everything she has done for me. I point blank told her, "You've never done jack shit." I like how he didn't censor jack shit, by the way.
Yeah.
My daughter was in the room watching cartoons on her tablet, so she couldn't hear me, and I hung up. Oh, so this was over the phone?
It looks like it.
Interesting. I didn't. Did he? I don't think he said that he called these people. Anyway, now I'm wondering if I went too far because my dad called me to tell me that I should apologize to my mom in order to keep the peace. I don't agree with that. The mom is in the wrong. A lot of family members on my mom's side are telling me to just be the bigger person. Again, in quotes there. and that my grandfather had Asperger's and abused her as a child. So that's why she may have said that. Um, my wife agrees with me. There's no excuse to what she said, and I shouldn't apologize, but I don't know. So I asked Reddit, am I the asshole?
Uh, no. No, you are not the asshole.
I feel like they're not, in my opinion. It's a private conversation between the mother and her son, right? So the mom's just kind of being honest about how she feels about the situation, but sometimes you gotta fucking just suck it up, dude. It's first of all, it's not your kid, so you shouldn't be the one to suggest how to raise said child.
Not only that, like, as a parent, if you're not, like, ready to defend your kid on that, of all things, you probably shouldn't be a parent, so I don't think he's in the wrong here. And then when I see, like, the dad and her family members keep telling him to, like, apologize and whatnot, I
Yeah.
think that's more them saying it because they don't want to fucking deal with this.
Yeah, that's the other thing, is that they're probably dealing with the situation on their own.
Yeah, like, god damn it, that bastard left me to deal with this now. Oh,
Yeah,
fuck, now I gotta hear it for, like, the next month.
I know, or however long. Um, God, yeah, it's just I don't think he's the asshole in that situation. I would also, I I don't think my mom would ever say that stuff to me. Um, but if I were in that situation, I would definitely tell my mom to fuck off. That's just, in my opinion, a little unacceptable.
Yeah,
Now I'm not one
everyone
of,
agrees here that he's not the asshole. It's like, there's no excuse for this.
I'm not the type of person to like hate when people say retarded. I don't care personally. Um, words are just words. If you give them power, then that's on you. At least that's how I believe.
Also,
But
like, there is a yeah, there's kind of a difference there between autism and retardation.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Like, there are several different forms of autism.
There are, and that's the thing, is that she's 11 years old, and it's taken them, right, the mom and dad, it's taken them a while to figure that out, or to even get to a diagnosis.
Yeah, for all
So
we know, this kid could just end up having major fucking social problems, but be incredibly smart.
yeah. Also, at least from what I understand, females with autism, it takes a little while, and some of them can look completely normal and stuff, but like you said, have those social, uh, you know, it's hard for them to develop those social constructs and social norms.
Yeah, technically, I mean, it's just normalized sociopathism,
Yeah.
sociopathic tendencies.
So I don't know. Clearly, the mother was in the wrong, I feel.
Oh, definitely.
We got one more to talk about, right?
Yeah, we have. Am I the asshole for having kicked my daughter in law out of my Thanksgiving meal after her vegan feast fiasco?
Oh my
First of
god.
all, yeah, if your daughter in law is vegan, you should kick both her and the son out. Jesus Christ. Okay, let me read out the story here. My
Yeah, yeah.
daughter, yeah, my daughter, 21, lives with us while finishing college. My son, 27, lives in the same city, and I babysit his children, 3 and 4. That's not their names, that's their age, by the way. So, we are bubbled. My sister, who drove 3 hours with her husband and son, who's 16, to come and see us, has been extra precautious prior to this event. Everyone was safe. Yeah, so this is this year. This is like 15 hours ago, so COVID and whatnot.
Yeah.
daughter-in-law and I don't get along for many reasons. I won't go into it. She also is just one of those condescending people who thinks that constantly looks down on others, especially because of her veganism. It sounds like I'm reading this wrong, but I'm honestly reading how it's typed out.
That can definitely make it challenging.
Yeah. Last Thanksgiving, she raised hell over me making a turkey and claimed there weren't really any vegan options. There were. Last week, daughter in law contacts me on Facebook asking for the menu and then telling me what will and won't work. She also sent me many replication recipes to make for her with expensive specialty items in all of them. Many I didn't even know what they were. This annoyed me because I had already made sure to give my son, her, and her kids vegan options for the day. But it wasn't good enough. I finally just told her to go pound sand and that she could bring her own dish for her family. She'd be that picky. Thanksgiving happens. They arrive late with a ton of food dishes, parading them in, all with this vindictive grin on her face. Turns out she, out of spite, took the exact menu and made her own version of every single dish.
Well,
Needless,
fucking good for her.
needless to say, I was livid, but I held my tongue. My sister and daughter, in particular, did try the food and enjoy it. Every time they complimented her, she would give me this look as she received her thanks. Before tacking on something like, I just wanted to make a Thanksgiving meal that everyone could enjoy. The part where I finally snapped was at dessert. We have a family tradition where right before we sit down and say what we're thankful for, it's usually for family or being able to gather when at her turn she got the same smug, vindictive grin on her face and in the most condescending way said, I'm thankful for starting the new tradition of cruelty-free, inclusive Thanksgiving and I hope it continues next year.
My lord.
Reddit, I saw red. I waited until my turn and then said, as calmly as I could, that I was thankful that this would be the last Thanksgiving I'd be spending with her. It took them a moment to catch on, and soon enough, nasty words were being exchanged on both sides.
Oh
I
my god.
finally kicked them out. I didn't think about it until this evening when my son sent me a text telling me that he would not be letting his children come over until I personally apologized to his wife. He said that while he sees my side, she didn't mean it and that I took it way too far by publicly embarrassing her when she spent so much time making food for everyone. My husband is telling me I should just apologize because it was rude of me and isn't worth it. He doesn't really get why it hurt me so much that she copied my meal to one up me and thinks the more food the merrier. Am I the asshole here? Let me know.
No. You know what's funny is that the three that we picked to read, all three of these circumstances, we were like, yeah, they're not the asshole.
Oh yeah, no, this woman is not the asshole because
Look, a couple of things, right? Okay. It's one thing to be vegan, and it's another thing to force that veganism onto other people. Um, I understand you don't want to eat meat. That's your choice or whatever. A weird one. I enjoy steak, but whatever. Um, you're eating my food's food. But it's a completely another thing when you start to force these people. Like asking for the menu, asking the father-in-law, right, for the menu, is kind of ridiculous to me, okay? Because as a person vegan, right, you're the minority in that situation.
oh yeah.
It sounds like the son isn't vegan, so um all these that's not going to work for me. Okay, if it's not going to work for you, keep it to your fucking self and then make that food yourself so that you can have a good time. Which is what she ended up doing anyway, right?
But
She
it's
ended up making
not
all
just
these
that, though. It's the fact that she made
the exact
everything.
menu. Yeah. Yeah, the exact menu. And I'm not saying the dad couldn't have made a couple of vegan things. He did say that there are vegan options, which I'm assuming was what, mashed potatoes, some cranberry dish of some kind.
Vegetable stuff, I imagine.
Yeah, yeah, basics. But he didn't make like an actual dish that is vegan, right? I would have put at least a little bit of effort to at least show that I'm somewhat accommodating. But you're damn right. I'm gonna eat a fucking ham and some turkey. Okay,
Well,
and I'm gonna eat it in front of you, and you better be okay with that because you're in my house.
it's not just that; it's the ingredients that she listed were
Yeah,
specialty ingredients and were extremely expensive.
it's just like,
And this was done like, I don't know, the day before
probably,
Thanksgiving.
yeah. It's just ridiculous that she expected that much of him to begin with, right? Um, yeah, and then a cruelty-free or whatever. Yeah, sure. Our
Now
meat
that
isn't
one
ethically sourced.
wasn't necessary.
Yeah, but not necessary. That's just those are fighting words.
Yeah.
That's what that was. You were wanting a reaction, and you damn well got it.
Oh yeah, my family would have a very strong opinion about this.
God. Uh, sure, don't eat meat. Okay, I didn't prepare this food for just you. I prepared this food for everybody. And out of 20 people, if you're the one person that doesn't want food, there's still 19 other people that are going to eat that. So, I'm not trying to accommodate you. I'm trying to accommodate everybody. And unfortunately, you don't fit the everybody bill.
Oh yeah,
So,
you can not like the food, but fuck, don't say anything.
just don't
Shit.
start shit. Why didn't his son say that to her before they even showed up? You should have said, "Hey, listen, there's going to be a lot of food here that isn't vegan, obviously, and you already know that because you asked my dad. Keep it to your fucking self. You've already created an entire second meal, okay?
Yeah.
I'm sure my family will try it, but just fucking take the praise or whatever, but keep it to yourself. Don't start any shit."
And why an entire fucking Thanksgiving dinner? Why not just make a few vegan
a few things,
alternative
right?
options?
Like you could have made the staples for Thanksgiving dinner, right?
Yeah.
So that the turkey of some kind, the ham of some kind. You can make alternatives to that, the stuffing or whatever. I think stuffing's all vegan, but unless you use chicken broth, right, or something like that. But there you didn't have to fucking make an entire vegan Thanksgiving and then just to kind of like one up the dad or even get on the same level as the dad.
This is the grandma, by the way.
What's up? Oh, the grandma wrote this?
Yeah, you keep saying the dad, and I'm like, it's a woman.
I thought it was the dad that wrote this.
No.
Hey.
Because it says at the end that my husband.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's funny. Bad situation either way, so.
Oh yeah, you can not like the food as much as you want, but fuck, don't say anything. Whatever you do not speak up.
Keep it to yourself, man. Just don't try to one up anybody. Don't even get on their level. Make a couple things. If the family likes it, then that should be enough for you.
Oh yeah. There's only so much that can be taken.
Yeah.
So we agree in all three of these. Like, not the asshole. You're in the right.
Not the asshole. You're in the right. I'd be interested to read one, and we might continue this into our next podcast. But I'd be interested in finding one that I'm like, yeah, you were the asshole in that situation.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll see.
Another thing that we did, it was that Thursday night. Technically, it was Friday morning, considering it was 2 a.m. for me and it was midnight for you.
Yeah.
We stayed up and we had a watch party and we watched The Mandalorian.
Yes. And almost shit bricks.
Yeah, we were not fucking prepared for that at all.
Oh my goodness. That was yeah, was not expecting that to happen within what, the first 10 minutes?
Like before the intro.
Yeah, before the intro. It was like the first like 5 minutes of the show and I was like, already shitting bricks.
Yeah, everyone already knows because it's being talked about, so we can go ahead and spoil it. It's all
Well,
over the internet.
we can't even spoil it. It happened in the first 3 minutes. It's not like we could save it for the end, right? Like we normally do. So
Yeah, this one was Ahsoka centric
yeah.
episode, and it was fucking amazing.
So we start out by looking at this this war-torn planet, right? And there's dead trees everywhere, kind of like a green fog going around the planet. And then people are just getting murdered by Ahsoka.
Yeah, she's using a very unique like fighting style of going
Yeah,
up, activating her lightsabers, killing someone, and then deactivating them and hiding. It was
vanishing
great.
in the mist, in the fog, just completely vanishing. It was crazy.
Yeah, she like comes out and is like, "You know what I want? You have one day before I come back."
Oh my goodness.
And that was essentially the intro.
Yeah, that was it. It was just like, hey guys, Ahsoka's in this episode. Are you ready for it? Because she was like in the whole episode, which was amazing. And then Mando shows up at the planet, right? And they tell that he's a bounty hunter, and they try to hire him to kill a Jedi.
Yes,
Mind you,
because the
going there
Jedi are
yeah,
ancient enemies of the Mandalorians.
yeah. So they're hopeful that that this guy's gonna help them, and unbeknownst to them, he went there to find a Jedi. So this is most likely the Jedi he's looking for.
Oh yeah,
Well, it was. It was.
it worked out perfectly, and we learned that the child, Baby Yoda, was there at the Jedi Temple during Order 66.
Mm-hmm.
That he was somehow taken out by a mysterious figure, and then that he's been hiding ever since, and he suppressed his force powers like a lot of Jedi to stay safe.
Mm-hmm.
And that he has a name.
He does. He does have a name, and I was not expecting a name to be given to this child, right?
Yeah, his name is Grogu.
Grogu. That's fucking awesome. A lot of people have a theory, by the way, that that he's the love child of Yoda and
Yaddle.
Yen. Yeah, Yaddle. So
That's my theory.
I mean, she magically disappeared from the council.
Yeah, him and Anakin are the same age too.
Yeah, it would be very. It would make sense.
It's like, prove me wrong, bitch.
And it's not the first time that the Jedi have made exceptions to the mating rules. I forget what his name was.
Kiadi Mundi.
Yeah, there you go. He was an endangered species, so he had to, do what he had to do.
He had multiple wives.
Yep. He
As
got
far
it
as
on.
we know, Yoda's species,
Yeah.
Yoda and Yaddle are like the only fucking ones.
Right. We've only ever seen 3.
Now we've seen 3, yeah.
Well, no, there was the general that was part of Yoda's race as well.
General.
Oh, I'm gonna have to remember what his name is or look him up, but
Are you talking about the Old Republic?
possibly.
Yeah, that still doesn't technically count yet. We're getting there, but
And it's just crazy that this child has a name, and they talk through the Force. It was really cool to see the child communicating for once.
well, more like they were just sitting there looking at each other and making faces, and we both assumed that it was some form of telepathy.
Yeah, you put the blue wire where the red one was. No, the blue wire.
I also like the fact that Grogu reacted every time Mando said his name.
Right? Almost immediately too, instead of, hey, don't do that. Youngling.
Yeah, like it's become clear that even though the child is 50 years old, it looks at Mando like he's his dad.
Yeah. And so Ahsoka was on that planet to get information. And so to an extent, so was Mando.
Yes.
Not necessarily. Mando was there to get the child some training, but as we all know, Ahsoka is not a Jedi anymore.
Yeah, and she
Uh,
makes notice that because of that fear, she
mhm.
worries that it's another Anakin.
Yeah, exactly. And she specifically says a Jedi Knight, right? Which all tells us, all right, she's talking about Annie.
Take a seat, Skywalker.
Yeah, yeah. And pretty interesting to see Ahsoka for the first time in live action. Definitely loved the role, but apparently not a lot of people did.
A lot of SJWs and whatnot. They're like, she's transphobe, and like, there's no, like, that's a baseless accusation.
So, what does the acronym SJW stand for those who don't know?
Social justice warrior.
Yeah, the what do they do? They're the cancel culture for sure, right? They do mm, virtue signaling, is that what they call it?
Yeah, there's that. There's a whole
Yeah.
bunch of stuff. And it's like they try to like get us that we don't like female characters and whatnot. And
they
I'm like,
they see this attractive person portraying this very important role and they want to cancel it immediately.
yeah, they try to get us. Well, you don't like Ray. It's like Ray's a fucking Mary Sue and has no character development whatsoever and has no reason for me to like her.
Yeah. She was a strong. No, fuck you. This role's way better, and she did it better too.
I watched Ahsoka grow up from like a 14-year-old Padawan to now as an
Yeah,
adult, going through all this stuff, going through the Clone Wars, the Rebellion, everything. It's like I am attached to Ahsoka as a character.
yeah,
I've
we all
watched
are.
her become her. I watched her character evolve. I watched the development. There's a reason to like her. There's a reason she's powerful and she's earned it.
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm.
not only that, it's like I like good characters. Some just happen to be female. There doesn't have to be a good female character.
Right. I don't care for that, or race. I don't care for that either. You know, it's cool that they're portraying those roles, and it's what have you. But I'm more focused on the role itself than I am the person who's playing that role.
Yeah, like another thing
Um,
they tried to do was there are no trans people in Star Wars, and I'm ashamed that I'll never get to see someone like me on in
okay,
Star
there's
Wars.
fucking aliens on Star Wars, dude.
Yeah, like, are you assuming their gender first of all?
Yeah, like what the
There was
fuck,
a
man?
fucking ant in like the second episode.
God, yeah, these people. Um. Anyway, we forgot to mention that Mando is going to be paid with
A Beskar spear.
yeah, Beskar spear, which Ahsoka has that battle with what was their title? The Magistry.
The magistrate.
Um, yeah, Magistrate, and they have their battle or whatever. Of course, Ahsoka wins. She finally fucking switches back to her original
Yeah,
style there.
she was like at a stalemate mostly because she was using a style she was uncomfortable with. But as soon as she
Hmm.
went back to the reverse grip, she wins.
She wins. She doesn't kill her though, right? Because she's there for something. She wants some information,
Yeah,
right?
she needs information, and then we get like another big ass fucking name drop.
Which I am excited for because this motherfucker, before this, he's in unknown space right now. So,
Yes,
or was.
he disappeared at the end of Rebels.
Yeah, he disappeared at the end of Rebels, and so did someone else.
Yeah, and I just want to say that before this episode started and came out, I fucking called it.
He's been calling it, guys. He has been
Yes.
calling it.
Oh,
So
God.
now we have Thrawn.
Yes. Ahsoka is on that planet because the Magistrate has some connection to the one and only Grand Admiral Thrawn. Oh, God, I'm so happy. I called it.
I seriously want this to go down that route so bad. So Ezra was also with Thrawn. So it's going to be very interesting to see all of that.
Yeah, so let me explain this real quick for those
Yep.
who don't know. At the end of Rebels, which takes place during the final battle above the forest moon of Endor, like where Luke confronts the Emperor, the end of Rebels takes place simultaneously with that. And it's on Lothal, which is where like all the main shit's happening. And the main enemy is Grand Admiral Thrawn. However, he's completely nerfed and nowhere near as good as he was in his books. And on the Star Destroyer, the Chimera, Ezra uses his connection with animals once again and summons a bunch of hyperspace creatures. These are like space creatures that can travel like as fast as hyperspace and whatnot. And they latch onto the ship and they just take them all, and including Ezra and Thrawn, to the unknown regions.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, as far as we know, that's like all we have on what happened, because Sabine and Ahsoka then went on a journey during the celebrations to find Ezra and possibly Thrawn.
And now, Thrawn, his race, is responsible for charting, mapping, exploring the unknown regions, because that's where they kind of come from.
Yeah, so originally in the Heir of the Empire, the Thrawn trilogy, the Chiss Ascendancy were in the unknown regions, and Thrawn had come up against a ship for the Yuzan Vong, and he was frightened. He didn't believe his people were ready, and so they didn't agree, and they kind of kicked him out. And so then Thrawn went up and joined the Empire, because he believed that by helping the Empire, he'd be helping his people.
Mm-hmm.
And so the whole point was to prepare the galaxy for the Yuzan Vong. Yeah. However, they are not a part of the canon universe at this moment. That might change, though, depending.
It might change, yeah.
And we know Thrawn is getting ships. We don't know if Moff Gideon is a part of this yet.
Right, we're not even sure if Moff Gideon is working for... who is above Moff Gideon.
Yeah, like he could be running this set of the Imperial remnants, or he could be working under Thrawn.
Yeah. Or, Snoke, who knows? It could be a bunch of different people.
No.
He does. We don't want that to happen. We want those last three.
I will say this.
Get kicked out.
Thrawn might not be a part of the Mandalorian in general.
Right.
Because this was also a test episode. This was them testing out how viewers would see a live-action Ahsoka and what the reception to that would be. Because they've been thinking about doing a live-action Ahsoka series.
Yes.
So it's a bit of a test on their end, but we know Thrawn is out there, and that means Ezra's probably out there.
And it only makes sense. And Thrawn wasn't an evil, led by fear kind of person. So I would think that he would get Ezra and himself to known space pretty quickly. We assume, yeah. He's very calculated, always a step ahead of most individuals. And I think he wouldn't at that point kill Ezra or anything like that. I think his main goal after that would be to get back to
at that point Ezra's a necessary ally.
Yeah, because they got to help each other out in that situation if they both want to live.
Yeah, not only that, but the Thrawn in the show, the canon Thrawn, is very different from the Legends Thrawn. Because in the books, Thrawn is the only non-force sensitive that has pretty much conquered the entire known galaxy.
Yep.
So, and he only lost because somehow they made his bodyguard kill him.
Somehow, some way.
Yeah, it was something stupid.
It's pretty insane. Definitely something that I am very much looking forward to. I don't know if we'll ever see a fucking live action Thrawn in the Mando, but because we only have what 3 more episodes.
Yeah, like I said, the live action Ahsoka series is possible.
Yeah.
And
So.
Thrawn could be the main antagonist for that.
Right.
Also, I vote Benedict Cumberbatch as live action Thrawn.
Oh yeah, we need a Sherlock there because that's essentially the character of Thrawn nowadays.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just absolute detective, knows, thinks, constructs, understands what's going on around them on a whole nother level.
Not only that, the Old Republic fans got a bunch of stuff made canon during that episode. First off, being the one and only HK-47 droids.
Yeah, that were taken out pretty quickly.
Yet nowhere compared to the real HK-47.
Yeah.
Who called everyone meatbags and could kill Jedi. But we got HK-47.
Yep.
Which is, Revan's thing. So we're one step closer to that. And another thing we got is, in my opinion, the greatest thing that has come to canon Star Wars, and that is the planet of Tython.
Yes, the first Jedi temple.
Yes, that is the birthplace of the Jedis in Legends, and it was refound or rediscovered by Satele Shan, Revan's descendant.
It's gonna be good. Now, Ahsoka says that you got to take the baby Yoda. You got to take him up to the peak, right? And he has to reach out with the Force, right?
Something
and if a Jedi feels that,
something about choosing his own path.
Yeah, his own path. Whether or not he wants to be a Sith, I guess
a
that
Jedi,
would be the other choice.
Or if he wants to stay with Mando, something like that.
Maybe. The baby has shown some Sith tendencies in the past, though. I don't think the baby is going to be a Sith. I don't see that being a thing.
I don't think it was so much
someone.
as a Sith tendency as much as it was, I don't know what this is. Is this a fight?
Right. So that's something to look forward to. I don't think Ezra's going to be the person that's going to be like, yo, there's another youngling out here. I think that it would most likely be Luke. I don't know how they're going to do that, though.
Someone is saying it was going to be Cal Kestis, and I'm like, first of all, we don't know if he's still alive yet.
Yeah.
Like, that's up to the games. So Cal Kestis isn't going to be making an appearance.
Mm-hmm. Now, unfortunately, I do have to go.
Okay, you got to head out now?
Yes.
All right, I'll finish up. I got a couple things to talk about, and I can pretty much do that on my own.
All right. Well, I apologize that I do have to leave, but I hope you guys have enjoyed the show, and thank you guys for joining us always.
All right, guy. Later.
Later.
All right, that was Daniel, everyone, my co-host. He sadly had to leave. So now it's just me. We had a few things to talk about, but yeah, a lot of people were saying stuff about Cal Kestis being the Jedi that senses Baby Yoda or Grogu. However, that's up to the games, as The Mandalorian takes place 5 years after the events of Return of the Jedi. So there's no telling that Cal's still alive. If they make more Jedi Fallen Order games, then we'll know the fate of Cal Kestis. But until then, I don't think he's going to appear in live action. So let's just shut that down for now. Hopefully we get more Revan, though. Another thing we had on the list to talk about was more Rosario Dawson and how she is incredibly hot. Like, holy shit. And that's fair, because I've seen many movies and shows with her in it, and she is incredible. She's a great actress, and shame on anyone for trying to, like, get her kicked out of The Mandalorian. She can't be Ahsoka and whatnot. It's like, no, none of that. Shame on you. And that, for those who have seen Team 4-Star. Another thing we had to talk about was the Monolith here, which in Utah, some people in a helicopter and some hikers and stuff, they found a weird monolith out. And for those who don't know, this thing is incredibly reminiscent of 2001: A Space Odyssey. So, only instead of like a giant rectangle, it is a triangle, but the side that's facing everyone is rectangular, which, as we know, is everywhere, the Fibonacci sequence, that kind of stuff. But it's incredible, and it could also mean the end of the fucking world, so there's that. We could all die from this, and we're fucking with it. Supposedly it appeared in October of 2015, is what this says. That it's interesting. It's incredibly interesting, and we're probably all gonna die from it. This is, this could be the dead space marker or something. So be prepared for that. We are, coming up on the end game of 2020. It is incredibly reminiscent of the Fibonacci sequence and how you can essentially make rectangles infinitely if we had, like, the way to do it. So there's that. And it's incredibly strange that we found this, and I don't like that we found this in 2020, of all things. Late term 2020 at that. That is incredibly weird. Some people think, oh, it's just some weird art project. And I'm like, why is it out in the middle of fucking nowhere then? Why would anyone put this out in the middle of nowhere? It's incredibly strange. But moving on. We did have another topic, and it was Gordon Ramsay, because apparently he made an incredibly weird grilled fucking cheese sandwich. However, if Gordon's making me food, then I'd probably eat it. That, without a doubt. And not only that, we occasionally watch, like, Kitchen Nightmares and stuff like that. And we have learned that the UK version is incredibly different from the US version. There is no censorship whatsoever. I watched some dude call someone else a pussy, and it was awesome. But it was a little weird, because also Ramsay seems to be a bit more nice in the UK version compared to the American version, where he yells at everyone. But that is something to look at. We'll probably talk more about that next time, but until then, this is probably the end, because I don't like talking to myself on this. I find it incredibly weird. But, I think that's it for this episode. This was episode 4 of the Out of Spite podcast. I want to thank everyone for joining us on the live stream for this one, and we hope you pop over to YouTube, and, so you can watch not only the older episodes that we made, but I'll be uploading this, like, as soon as I'm able to. So, until next time, guys, this has been the Out of Spite podcast.